Hello, my name is Mark. It is about 10 minutes after 4 o'clock a.m. and I had a dream about the past. It is July 3rd, 2019, and I had a dream just now. Just woke up. It is Wednesday, July 3rd, the day before the United States Independence Day, and I am American. I had a dream about somebody who is a pedophile. The funny thing was, he was calling me a pedophile. Let's call him John. John was a leader in the church, and he was teaching the youth. And I wanted to help out. I taught a class in this church. I taught the youth in a class in this church in Indiana. And then John, we'll call him John, said, I think he used my first name, because that was about the time I was transitioning between using my first name and my middle name. So he might have said, Mark, my name, my first name, leave. I was teaching a class, and then I also attended the Sunday school class. I was teaching a Wednesday class and also attended a Sunday school class. And then when I was done, I continued to attend the Sunday school class. I don't remember whether I attended the Wednesday class. And John said, Mark, if he used my first name, Mark, leave. And everybody was quiet. And I read the scriptures, because I knew what John was up to. And not only John, but other leaders in the church. I had read Isaiah 1 before the church, because truly the church had become a whore and started out a whore. And Isaiah 1 says, see how the righteous city became a whore. So two other leaders, there was John, and we'll say Todd and Don, came to me. One grabbed one arm after I read the scripture, and because I read the other scripture, I was told not to read the scripture in church. And I wasn't thinking, I just thought, well, this guy, this scripture is good for this guy, for John. So I'm calling him, and Todd, I'm calling him, grabbed my arm. I think Todd grabbed my right arm, and Don grabbed my left arm, and they picked me up. I went with them. And then they took me to buy one of the doors, and they called the police. And a policeman came and asked for identification. And I was standing, he said, sit there. It was a wingback chair. He said, sit there. So I sat there. And he talked with the preacher. And he told me, you are not allowed to come back here. And my church kicked me out for reading the scriptures. But that's not what they say. I mean, they say, well, we have to kick you out for reading the scriptures. But they say there was more than that. for the reason they kicked me out. I had a dream, and I was in the dream, I was in among the youth in the class, and John was there, and he said, Mark, leave. And again, in my mind, I was remembering this scripture, and I didn't get to finish it. So John, if you're listening, you get to hear it, since you didn't want to hear it in church. I don't remember exactly. I think I started with the prophecy, not with the stuff before it. She despised you and mocked you, the virgin daughter of Zion. She shook her head behind you. She shook the head behind you, the daughter of Jerusalem. Whom did you reproach and blaspheme? And against whom did you raise the voice? And on high lifted up your eyes. Because this is talking about the king of Assyria. And God is linking me with Hezekiah, I think, in the dream. And Jerusalem. And on high lifted up your eyes against the Holy One of Israel. And it goes on and talks about what he does, and I don't want to read all that. Or what it says, I'll read a part of it. Through your servants you reproached, I am praised. And you said, with my many chariots, I came up to the heights of the mountains, to the remotest parts of Lebanon. This could be said about secret organizations that achieve great things. To the remotest parts of Lebanon, I cut down its tall cedars and its choice cypresses, and I will go to its farthest heights. Its thickest forests. I dug and drank waters, digging wells, and with the sole of my feet I dried up all the rivers of let me see, as a field plowed, as I can't read this very well. Anyway, I dried up all the rivers of Egypt. Did you not hear? Long ago I did it. From ancient times I planned it. Now I brought it to pass, that you should turn fortified cities into ruinous heaps. And it goes on about what he does and what God gave him the power to do. And I'll skip down here a little bit. But I know you're sitting down and you're going out and you're coming in and you're raging against me. I mean, this is what is going on. There are government agents that are raging against me. They're stirring up the people. They're making false claims. I know you're sitting down and you're going out and you're coming in. This was a powerful king. People don't have that in their mind nowadays. They think it was like a band of children with plastic bows and arrows. And you're raging against me. Because of your raging against me, and because this is church now, this is church that's raging against God, that I can guarantee you. And because of your and because your complacency, or it says arrogance here, came up to my ears, therefore I will put my hook in your nose and my bridle in your lips. And people are saying, how can God do this? This is the king of Assyria. He's leveled every nation he's come across. Leveled. Once again, the idea of plastic bows and arrows in the hands of about 3 children. Oh, save me. Have mercy. Skipping down a little bit. For out of Jerusalem will go forth, because he'd already conquered most of Israel. He'd already conquered most of Israel, and he was going up to Hezekiah and saying, you better bow. You better, submit to me. Turn yourself over to me. And he was sending his servant to say this. Because out of Jerusalem will go forth a remnant, and out of Mount Zion survivors. Let me see. Those who escape. The zeal of I am praise of hosts will perform this. I will escape all of these government crap they're piling upon me. They've done a lot against me. Therefore, thus says I am praised concerning the king of Assyria. Isaiah 37. Isaiah 37. He will not come to this city or shoot an arrow there. He will not come before it with a shield or throw up a siege ramp against it. This was a great salvation for Israel. Israel was too weak to deal, as I am, to deal with the king of Assyria. I've got the king of Assyria coming in, the government of Assyria coming against me and saying, we're going to level you, Mark. We're going to destroy you. By the way that he came, by the same way, by the same he will return, and he will not come to this city, declares I am praised, because I will defend this city to save it for my own sake. That's what God does. He does it for his own name, for his own benefit, because he already has shown that he loves these people. He's already shown that he loves us. So because he is so great, he's concerned about his name. And for my servant David's sake, or for Hezekiah's sake, the king there. Then the angel of I am praised, and there was a Brazilian who was talking about this. He was saying that Jesus could have called 12 legions of angels, and a legion is supposed to be 12,000. So Jesus could have called 144,000 angels to save him from dying. He had the power to escape it, but he chose not to. And the point, this Brazilian was talking, and he said the point I'm trying to make is, he's a look at the power of this one angel. One angel, and he pointed this out, one angel, and of course God is infinitely more powerful. Angels are not divine, God is. Then the angel of I am praised went out and struck one angel, 185,000 in the camp of the Assyrians. And when And when they arose in the morning, see all of these dead bodies. One angel. God basically sent the angel. He didn't say, well, I'm going to come down there myself. He said, okay, I'll send the angel. So Sennacherib, the king of Assyria, departed and returned. Now, he also heard a message about a rumor that was not true, apparently, about Tirkatha, the king of Cush, which is more or less Ethiopia today, the king of Cush. Departed and went and returned and lived at Nineveh. It came about, as he was worshiping in the house of Nisroch, his god, that Adramelech and Sharezer, probably might be pronounced in Hebrew, Adramelech and Sharezer, his sons, killed him with the sword, and they escaped into the land of Ararat. That was nearby. It's a modern country today, Ararat. And Esarhaddon, his son, became king in his place. Then it goes on to talk about Hezekiah. It says, in those days. So the king of Assyria left. Jerusalem was unconquered. And the king of Assyria left and died. You know. And God said, I'll make him fall by the sword in his own land. In those days, Hezekiah became mortally ill, sick to the point of death. Sick to the point of death. And the same prophet, Isaiah, because the book is about Isaiah, came and said, set everything in order, you're gone. He said, prepare to die. And Hezekiah prayed. And God answered his prayer and sent Isaiah. I think as he was leaving, I'm not sure, I think as Isaiah was leaving, God said, okay, you told him this message, now turn back around and tell him another one, a different one. And he said he would add 15 years to his life. So he saved Hezekiah. He killed the king of Assyria in his own land. He scared him with the king of Cush that was supposed to be coming up against him. After he conquered Egypt, Cush was a little bit further south of Egypt at that time. Once again, Cush is Ethiopia. And it was a powerful country back then. At times, it was about rivaling Egypt, if you know about the pyramids and everything. Okay. So, I believe the dream was about John and his people being conquered. I read it in class. I had the dream of reading it in class, in this Bible class. It is very unfortunate we don't have Christian classes. There is no new word in the churches. I'm Mark. Thanks for listening, and God bless you.